welcome to our flow class today, and we are going to be in the flow. So yoga is a great way to remind ourselves that when we relax, when we settle, that life can just kind of flow on by and we don't have to get caught up in it and get all anxious. So starting sitting, feeling your sits bones settling down, a nice way to get into the flow is to release anything that's tense or tight. So we'll start with a few cleansing breaths. So let's breathe in through our nose and then out through our mouth, maybe with a sigh. So starting with a breath in and out. Let's do two more like that. Inhale and exhale. And once more. And then just settling here, closing your eyes, feeling your body softening, shoulders relaxing. Checking in to see how your body is feeling today. Paying attention to any tender spots, any tension, tightness. Allowing yourself to be wherever you're at. And while you're here, maybe repeating the mantra, I am aligned with the flow of life. I am aligned with the flow of life. And then you can flicker your eyes open. We'll bring our fingertips to the floor. We're going to inhale, reaching those arms all the way up to the ceiling. And then we'll take the right hand and letting it float back down to the mat. We'll reach the left arm up a little bit higher and slowly coming over to your right. Keeping your sits bones on the floor, feeling a nice stretch in that left side. And from here, let's see how our shoulders are feeling today. So we're going to make a nice big circle with your left arm, taking your time and noticing any tender spots. And then we'll go in the other direction. Beautiful. Let's come back up with both arms up to the ceiling. We'll let the left hand float back down to the mat, right arm reaching up and coming over to your left. Sits bones are settling down, feeling that stretch as you breathe into your right rib cage. And then we'll take that right arm into a nice big circle. Noticing how this side feels. If you have any shoulder injuries, be gentle with yourself. And then we'll go in the other direction. Nice big circle. Beautiful. Let's bring both hands back up. Bringing the palms together and back to our heart. Taking an in breath here. Letting out a sigh as you exhale, settling. We're going to take our hands, bringing them behind our neck, elbows extending out, and letting your head drop down. Letting the weight of your hands stretch out the back of your neck. And then maybe lifting your left elbow up, looking over to your left. And then back to center, lifting your right elbow up, looking up, and back to center. And we'll do 2 more on each side. Moving with your breath. Beautiful. Let's lift our nose up towards the ceiling. We'll release our hands, bringing them into little cactus arms. So you're opening up your elbows, chest expanding, breathing into your heart. And then as you exhale, let's bring those arms around, giving yourself a nice big hug. And then inhale, let's take the arms back, expanding your chest, and exhale, bringing the opposite arm under, giving yourself a hug. Inhale, expanding, and exhale, bringing it in. Once more, opening up and giving yourself a little self-love here. Maybe rocking from side to side. Beautiful. We'll bring our hands to our knees. We'll do some seated cat-cows. So as you exhale, rounding your back, inhale, let's bring the chest forward, curving your lower back. Moving back and forth with your breath. And then coming back to center, let's do a little circle here. So as you move forward, you're inhaling. As you move back, you're exhaling. See how those hips feel, how your spine feels. And then coming back to center, we'll switch our legs, bringing the other leg in front or on top. And then we'll take our circle in the other direction. Noticing any changes, any differences from this side to the other. And then we'll come back to center. Let's come onto our hands and knees, making sure your knees feel okay. We'll bring our fingers underneath, our wrists underneath the shoulders, knees under the hips. Letting your head hang down. We'll do a few neck movements. So just taking your chin from left to right. Maybe taking a nice big circle with your nose. And then the other direction. Coming back into child's pose, you might want to get your knees a little further apart. Resting here. Taking a few moments to allow your back to settle. Allowing your head to get a little closer to the mat. If your head doesn't quite reach, you can always stack your fists. Breathing all the way up the back body and letting go. We'll come back into our table position. We're going to take the right toes out to the mat, gently pumping your heel, stretching out the calves, stretching out the toes. And then we'll take that leg so it's parallel to the floor. Nice long leg. Let's just lift it up a couple of times. As you do this, we're going to pull the belly button in towards the spine. And then holding that leg out, let's bend the knee, bringing it to our shoulder. We'll make a nice big circle, loosening up your hips. And then maybe in the other direction. And then stretching your leg back out, pointing your toes. Let's come into a little balance. So we'll bring the left arm out, engaging your core, breathing here. And then bringing your left hand down, we'll take the right leg over to the left, letting your toes rest onto the floor, maybe looking over your left shoulder. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then coming back to center, maybe curling your toes and see if you can come up onto your knees. Just taking a little rest from your wrists. We'll make some circles with those wrists. If your toes aren't loving this right now, you can come off of them. And then just shaking out your wrists. Let's bring those hands back down. We're going to do the other side. So let's take the left foot out, toes on the mat, gently pumping your heel, waking up the calves, waking up the toes. And then bringing that leg up parallel to the floor. Your heel is pushing out, toes pointing down. We'll let that heel and leg come up and down as you engage your core here. And then bringing your knee to your left shoulder, making a few circles one way. And then the other. And then sending that leg back out, pointing your toes. Let's take our opposite arm for a little balance. Making sure you're breathing here. And then we'll bring our right hand down, taking your left foot to the right, looking over your right shoulder. And then we'll bring that knee back in. Let's curl the toes. We're going to come into our downward facing dog. So making sure those wrists are set up. We'll bring the hips up, letting the head come in between the arms, maybe walking one heel out at a time. Maybe letting out a sigh. And then bringing both heels down towards the floor. Let's take our hands and walk them to our feet, coming into our ragdoll pose, head relaxing, shoulders relaxing, maybe grabbing hold of your elbows and swaying from side to side. And then coming back to center, let's uncross the hands, straightening out the legs a little bit more. Hips rising up towards the ceiling. Breathing here. And then bending your knees, let's slowly make our way up. Keeping your chin tucked until you're feeling stable, and then letting your shoulders roll down your back. Coming into mountain pose, letting everything settle here, feeling the weight in your feet, shoulders relaxing. Taking a few cleansing breaths while you're here, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. Softening so that you can be in the flow. Let's inhale, reach our arms up. Exhale, folding back down nice and slow. Letting your head hang down. We're going to walk those hands back to the front of the mat, coming back into our downward facing dog. We'll bring the knees back down, settling into table, and then bringing your right foot forward. Let's come into our low lunge here. So getting that right knee in your armpit if you can, hands on either side. Lifting your nose, feeling a nice stretch along that left side. And then from here, let's walk the fingers back, straightening out that right leg, bringing your nose down towards your knee. Taking a few moments to soften. And then we'll walk the fingers back. Curling your back toe will lift that knee. We're going to come back into our downward facing dog. Getting your heels towards the floor, hips to the ceiling, head in between your arms. And then we'll bring the knees back to the floor. Let's take the left leg forward, settling into our low lunge on this side. Taking a few moments, getting yourself situated. And then maybe lifting your nose, getting a nice stretch along the right side of that leg. And then we'll walk the fingers back, straightening out that left leg, bringing your nose towards it. Breathing all the way up that back body and just letting go. Then we'll come forward again. Let's curl the back toe, lift that knee. Let's come back into our downward facing dog. Getting yourself situated, heels towards the mat, head in between the arms. Hips to the ceiling. So in order to be in the flow, you need to be soft. So we're going to bring that left foot forward, taking the right leg up to the ceiling. So coming into a three-legged dog, if that works for you today. And from here, we're going to come into a crescent lunge. So this might be a little challenging for some. We're going to take the right leg forward in between our hands. You can help it out if you need to. Bringing yourself into a high lunge. So back heel is off the floor. And then pushing into that right knee. Let's see if we can come up. So really squeezing the thighs. Not getting too hard on yourself if this is too difficult. You can take your arms out and maybe bring the right elbow under the left, coming into eagle arms. So really feeling your legs solid on the floor. Beautiful. Let's uncross those legs, bringing your hands back down. And we'll take that right leg back, coming back into our downward facing dog. Hips to the ceiling.
Taking a moment here. Let's come down onto our knees and resting back into child's pose. Softening, letting go. And then we'll come back into table. We're going to come back into our downward facing dog and get ready to do the other side. So right heel comes forward, left leg goes up to the ceiling. Taking a breath here. And then bringing that left foot forward into our high lunge. Making sure that it feels okay for you. Maybe placing your hands onto that left knee, coming into a little crescent pose here. We'll take the arms back out, bringing the left elbow under the right, little eagle arms. Feeling those legs nice and solid. Beautiful. Uncrossing. Bringing your hands back down to the floor. We're going to rotate the back foot and coming into warrior two. So reaching that right arm back. Left arm forward, sinking down. Making sure that your arms are parallel to the floor. Shoulders are relaxed. And just gazing out. Coming back to the mantra, I am aligned with the flow of life. Breathing down into your belly. We'll do a little flow here. Let's inhale, reaching up, straightening the front leg, and exhale, sinking back down. Inhale up, exhale down. And two more like this. Just moving with your breath. Settling back into warrior two. Let's flip the left palm. We'll bring the right hand to our thigh. Reaching up and over. Breathing into the front of your rib cage. And then bringing yourself with your elbow to your knee, or right arm all the way up and over. Maybe taking a few circles with your arm. And then the other direction. Bringing your hands back down to the mat, coming off of your back heel so your heel is lifted. We'll plant the right hand on the mat, left arm reaching up towards the sky. And then bringing your hand back down to the floor. Let's come into a little bit of a balance pose here. We're going to come off of the back leg. Yeah, I have a plant in my way. And then maybe bringing that knee up, grabbing hold of it if you can. Having a soft gaze. Finding your balance here. And then releasing that leg, give it a little shake. We're going to do the other side. So bringing your right leg out. Left leg is behind on a 45-degree angle to your front foot. We'll reach the arms back out, sinking into that front knee. Coming into warrior two, gazing across your fingers. Shoulders relaxed. Breathing down into your belly. I am aligned with the flow of life. And then we'll do a little flow here. Inhale, straightening the front leg. Exhale, back down. And 3 more with your breath. And then we'll settle back into warrior 2. Let's flip the right palm up, left hand settles onto your thigh, reaching up and over. Breathing into the ribs and folding forward. Take a few circles with that left arm. And then the other direction. Bringing your hands back down to the mat, rotating that back foot so your heel is off the floor. Left hand on the mat, right arm up, looking up, twisting it out. And then we'll bring our right hand back down. Let's come up off of that back foot. Maybe bringing your arms out, little airplane, or out to the side, finding your balance. And then slowly bringing your knee up, keeping that balance, taking a couple breaths. Beautiful. Let's release our legs, shaking them out. We're going to come all the way down onto the mat. Give your legs a little shake, flexing and pointing your toes. Settling here, taking a few cleansing breaths, inhaling through your nose, out through your mouth. Feeling everything soften. And then we'll just bring our feet together, letting those knees flutter up and down like little butterfly wings. And letting them settle here. Maybe taking your feet a little further away from your body. We'll wrap our fingers around our toes, slowly coming forward. Breathing down into your back, breathing into your hips. And then slowly coming back up, bringing the knees with you. We're going to come all the way down onto our mats, getting yourself comfortable so that your back is nice and long. Arms are down by your sides. Maybe your heels are lined up underneath your knees. Feeling the beautiful support of the floor. Connecting with your breath. And we're going to come into a bridge pose. We're going to flow here. So we're going to push into the heels, lift the hips, bringing the arms up and overhead, making sure your neck feels okay. And then slowly exhale, bringing yourself back down. So we'll do 3 more like that, just moving with your breath. And on your last one, let's just hold our hips up, keep our arms overhead, pushing into the heels. And then maybe letting your arms float back down by your sides as you keep your hips up towards the ceiling. Breathing down into your belly. And then very slowly, let's lower ourselves back down, just feeling each of those little bones touching down one at a time. Beautiful. Let's bring the right knee into our chest, sending your left leg out. Pulling that knee up towards your right shoulder. And then we're going to come into a twist. So take hold of that right knee with your left hand. Your right arm can rest onto the floor. And slowly bringing your knee across over to the left. Keeping your shoulders relaxing, maybe looking over to your right. Breathing all the way down to your belly. With each exhalation, softening a little bit more. Then slowly coming back to center, releasing your left hand. We'll let the right leg just float down towards the right. Maybe bringing your hands to your belly, coming into a lying tree pose. Breathing into your hands. Then we'll bring both knees back up. Let's take the left leg to the ceiling, pointing and flexing your toes. Letting your left ankle rest onto the right knee. Left knee moving away from your body. And you can stay just like this, or if you'd like, you can bring your right knee into your chest. Breathing into any tightness or tension. And then releasing your hands if they're crossed, and we'll bring the knees in for a little rock from side to side. And then keeping your left knee in, we'll stretch the right leg out, bringing that left knee towards your shoulder. We'll come into our twist here, taking hold of the left knee with your right hand. Left arm stretches out as you slowly bring that left knee down towards your right. Head can look to the left. Shoulders resting on the mat. Breathing down into your belly. And then releasing your right hand, let's let that left knee float down to the left, bringing your hands back to your belly. breathing all the way into your hands. And then we'll bring the knees back up, taking your right leg to the ceiling, maybe flexing and pointing. Cross the right leg over the left. Let's bring our left knee in, pulling it in, taking a few moments here. And then releasing. Let's bring both knees in for another rock from side to side. And then we'll stretch the legs out, bringing our arms up and overhead, taking a nice big stretch. And then letting your arms just float back down by your sides, coming into corpse pose, palms facing up. Breathing all the way down into your belly. Letting go with a sigh. Feeling all that wonderful energy flowing through you, flowing around you, being aligned with the flow of life. And while you're here, I'd like to share a poem by Zach Beach, and it is called Let Go and Flow. Let go and flow. Don't just be here now. Go with the now. Flow with the now. See how it changes with each moment and turbulent turn. Let the river of now take you, wash over you, carry you forward. Through its unfolding grace, there are no wrong turns. Around every bend lies a new landscape of infinite potential. Go with this now and this now. Now, now, now. Surrender into divine energy, the force of creation where everything arises and everything returns. Feel surprise between your ears, wonder behind your eyes, and the unfolding smile of a new dawn behind your lips. Go with this now, and this now, and this now. And when you're ready, beginning to wiggle your fingers and toes, bringing a full breath into your belly, bringing yourself back up to a seated position. Sitting up comfortably, hands resting on your knees, palms up. Let's chant Om 3 times, taking a nice full breath in. Bringing your hands together at your heart center and remember to go with the flow. Namaste.